Welcome to the Competitor's Classroom. My name's Mackenzie, and I am a competitor. This is take 2 of The Struggle is Real, Important. And the reason I'm recording this for a second time, I was really proud that I did it one time and was going to post it out. It's actually on YouTube. I'm not going to delete it. But the reason I wanted to record it a second time is because I had a pretty profound experience last night with some struggle that I witnessed one of my athletes going through, and then also the struggle that I face today as I just ran 20 miles, my last long run before my marathon. That's 10 days from now. And I want to talk about struggle and why I believe that struggle is so important in our lives and why it is one of the most important tools for allowing us to grow as human beings. I'm going to make an assumption right here that I need you to agree with me that we are put on this planet to grow. We were brought onto this earth as, in my instance, a 10-pound baby, and I grew physically to a certain point, and I don't think that it stops there. When my body physically stopped growing, now I continue to grow as a human mentally and physically as well. And I just need to all of you to understand that the more we ignore the struggle and we discredit the struggle, the more we stay stuck. So I want to start with the definition of struggle itself. Looked it up in the dictionary, and it says to make strenuous efforts in the face of difficulties. To make strenuous efforts in the face of difficulties. Or to proceed with difficulty or great effort. Realistically, that's a lot of things we face in life. Almost everything we face in life. Because some of the synonyms for this word are hustle, sweat, strive, work, battle, fight, tussle, competition, combat, conflict. All of those things we face every single day in really small and really big ways. And every time we come across a struggle, no matter how big or how small, we have two decisions. Either to go for it because it's in our best interest to face that struggle and to overcome it, or to back down from it. But if we're going to do that, it better be because we have our best interest in mind. And I want to explain that a little bit. So today I had the choice. I'm going to talk about my marathon just because it's real for me right now, because the struggle is real in my life. So during my run, I got to mile 17 and things got tough. The struggle was absolutely real. I started to get this pain through my glute and hamstring on my right side, and I knew in my mind that I need to keep my body healthy for the next 10 days, but I also knew in my heart that I didn't want to quit. So I looked at my friend Sarah and I said, hey, I'm feeling this pain. If we have to stop, I really am going to be doing it because I need to keep my body healthy. She's like, oh, okay, I understand. And then about a half mile later, I remembered why I decided to run this marathon. And it was for all the people on my team, all the girls that train with me and look up to me. I need to be able to face my fears and not make excuses for myself. So I had two decisions, or I had two choices in my decision. And it was either to continue on and to push through the struggle or to give up and quit. And that giving up and quit wasn't going to make me stronger. I knew that in my heart. Sometimes giving up and quitting, if I really felt the pain was that real, is the best answer. In this instance, it was not. We need to understand that. So I looked at her a half mile later and said, don't you dare let me quit, because I was making an excuse for myself. And I called myself out, and thank the Lord I had Sarah there with me who pushed through that run with me, because I know it wasn't easy for her either, but she was my other reason that I wasn't going to make an excuse for myself. So a lot of times the difference between the people we see out there, quote unquote, succeeding or not making excuses are the ones who that's exactly what they're doing. They're pushing through their struggles. Because it's so important to realize that when we push through our struggles, you learn from it. Like at this point in my life, I am still afraid and nervous every time I step up to a big situation. Like I'm going to be really nervous on my marathon day, but I know that I'm going to learn from it. And I know that it's going to be worth it because the lessons that I learn, I'm able to pass on to the girls that train with me and the people in my life, my family, my friends, my mom and my dad, and that makes it worth it, right? My teammates make it worth it. But, sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. It's important to us, and I'm not going to restart this podcast. I'm going to put that in there. I restart my podcast way too often to make myself restart again. But the lessons I learned, that's where I was at. The lessons that I learn are so valuable. The struggle I go through is sometimes painful, like physically painful when I run. And when I make it through that physical pain and I come out stronger on the other side, I learn a lesson from it every single time. And that's what makes it worth it because I'm able to share those lessons with other people. That's what I was trying to get at there. That makes more sense. So when we step down from our struggles, we are just prolonging the time it's going to take for us to learn because I promise you that your struggles are going to keep showing up in your life. And what I mean by that is when we are indecisive. I've always called myself indecisive. And that's because I've been striving for perfection this whole time. I've been trying to avoid the struggle by being in complete and total control. And it has hurt me in more ways than it has helped me. And let me explain. I keep this really simple when I talk about like the clothes I'm choosing when I go to anywhere. I am so indecisive because what if this is the wrong outfit? What if this is the right one? Or like if you go to choose somewhere to eat. Well, I don't want to go here because what if I don't like their food that much? Or what if we go there and we see somebody? Once you make the decision, yes or no. I'm going here, I'm going there. I'm wearing this, I'm not. I'm running the marathon, I'm not. I'm going to put in the work, I'm not. Then you learn from it. The sooner you just make the decision, even if it's the wrong one, then you get the chance to learn from it. I'm going to tell a story about my homecoming girl. I've said this in a couple of my podcasts if you've been listening, but the reason I'm running this marathon is because I had a girl who was afraid to go to homecoming. I'm so proud of that girl. She ended up going to homecoming, but guess what? She didn't like it. And I am still so proud of her for going and putting in the work and going through the pain of not wanting to go. But she went and she was like, I honestly didn't like it. And I'm not going to share the reasons that she didn't like it. But it was honestly a very mature answer. And she went there and learned from her experience. And now she knows for next time. And I'm so proud of that. I don't care if she didn't like it or not. I just needed her to go and experience getting out of her comfort zone and learning what it was going to take and then learning lessons from it. So even if you make the wrong decision, you still learn and it's getting you closer to where you want and where you need to go. I really hope that's coming across to you guys. Now, she did that, quote unquote, for me, right? She kept saying, I'm going to homecoming for you because you're running this marathon for me. And right there, that's that team aspect. It is so freaking easy to give up on yourself, guys. You have to remember why you are making the decision and then taking the action. The decision is one step, the decision to face the struggle. The action that we take is, again, a struggle, but then the bravery to get over all of that and overcome all of our struggle is because of the team that we're fighting for. It is so easy to give up on ourselves. If I was running this marathon for me, you better believe that I would have quit by now. But every time I run and things get tough, I think about the people in my life who need me to continue to push to be better and stronger. Because as simple as my soon-to-be husband, he's going to need me to push through all of this, and my mom and my dad, but those clients and the girls and the athletes and the adults that train with me, they need me to push and to learn these lessons so I can share my lessons with them. Now, I think a lot of times this is just a reason that I have not acted on my struggles sometimes is because I felt scared. And when you are facing a struggle, it exposes weakness. It exposes really scary things in yourself. And you can look at that in one of two ways. The way I just described it, and saying, I'm weak, I'm less than, I feel shame around this, I am no good, I'm just going to shut down. Or we can see it as an opportunity to grow. If we can find our spot of weakness and we can act on it, we can get stronger. If you can target the certain muscle group that is weak in your body, you're going to become overall stronger, right? But you can't do that a lot of times until you start to push out of your comfort zone. And I think this is so hard for all of us to understand and conceptualize, because the physical side of the world we can see. It's really visual. But the mental side of pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone, it's quote unquote invisible. And then it makes people feel like it's not real, like the struggles aren't real. And it's so far from the truth. And I think this is a perfect podcast for this timing, where Mental Health Awareness Day was yesterday, and I actually wasn't aware of that, because I know that I've been through my own struggles with mental health. I still struggle with mental health. And all of those times when I felt scared and when I felt like I was weak, it made me feel alone. And there is nothing scarier in this world than feeling alone. We have torture techniques that include solitude, as in confining somebody in a room without any other human contact. Like, when you feel alone, that struggle is so real. And in those times that I felt alone, I wish that I would have had a voice out there that said, keep pushing. You have to continue to push if you want to live the life that I know you're dreaming of living. Because when you're feeling alone, it's easy to feel sorry for yourself. And a lot of times we feel sorry for ourselves because we're really not putting in the work. And as soon as we can realize that, feeling alone is scary, right? But as soon as we can realize, okay, I'm feeling alone, what do I do? I'm going to tell you right now that the best thing I ever did to deal with my struggles was ask for help. And I mean this in every different aspect of life. The physical side, when I felt alone, like I wasn't as strong as I needed to be, I was able to ask a strength and conditioning coach for help. On the mental side of life, I've struggled, like I'm going to expose a lot of myself, I'm sure, in time to come. I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it at this moment, guys. I do apologize about that, but I'm still working through some stuff. But in those moments that I felt alone back when I was in college, I should have found somebody that I could have asked for help and I could have talked about things with. Because a lot of times we know what we need to do. We need to talk about our issues, but we don't, because we think that keeping them inside and not exposing ourselves is brave. And it is, and it's actually so far from the truth. So anyways, when I was feeling alone on the mental side of life, when I was feeling shame and unworthy and all these things, I finally decided to ask for help. And the bravest thing I ever did was go and see a therapist. And it was the scariest thing I ever did. And it wasn't easy for me to show up like that, but it forced me to not make it an excuse. And it forced me to ask and answer tough questions. And it has now allowed me to move through a lot of the struggles that I've had in my life. I've had physical struggles, I've had mental struggles, and I think we all have. But this world that we live in makes us feel like we need to be perfect. We need to have this perfect smile and picture and life all together. And guys, it's so far from the truth, because the struggles are what make us real. The struggle is real. And the last thing I really want to touch on here is that all struggle is equal. No matter how small or how big it is. I think the most harmful thing that we can do for ourselves is to discredit our struggles by making them small. And what I mean by that is, you see the struggles that you're going through in your life, but maybe you have someone in your life who's going through a really tough divorce, or somebody who has a terminal illness, or somebody who is struggling in ways that they might not be able, it seems a lot bigger and messier than what you're going through. And that's actually a really harmful way to look at things, because as soon as you do that, you discredit what you're going through. And when you discredit what you're going through, then all of a sudden the lessons aren't as meaningful. And I'm telling you that some of the smallest little struggles in my life have taught me the biggest lessons. But if I was to discredit those things and be like, oh, other people are going through worse things than me, Ken, quit feeling sorry for yourself, I probably wouldn't have learned the things that I've learned through my lifetime. And I think that's an important concept to understand. That those people who are going through those really big, scary struggles, we should have empathy for them, and we should be able to reach to them and to comfort them and to make them feel better. But then we also shouldn't allow that to feel less about allow those circumstances to hinder our self-worth. I hope that comes across the right way. And if you have questions about any of these things, you guys know that you can ask me to clarify as we go. But I just want to go back and review again that your struggle is real, no matter how big or how small. The sooner we can understand that, the sooner we can become more thankful for the tough things in our life. I'm going to tell one last story about how I have changed in the way that I've looked at struggle, where before, when I would think about things that were tough in my life that I needed to overcome, I used to be suffocated with fear. And when I mean suffocated, I mean like crying, like hard to breathe situations where I feel like I was the most alone. And that fear took me over because I was like, I'm not going to face that struggle. I'm just going to stay stuck because I think that that's going to be easier than moving forward. And I am so far removed. I'm so wrong in that situation. And it was actually a really selfish thing for me to ever believe, because by not facing my fears and not facing the struggles that were in my life, it was allowing me to stay stuck. And when I stay stuck, everyone around me, everyone on my team was staying stuck too, because the more that I was rising, now that I'm rising and overcoming my fears, I'm forcing all these people in my life to overcome their fears too. My friend on my run today told me the most incredible thing that literally brought tears to my eyes. She said, Kenz, you've been this person with me or for me the past 6 months where you have picked me up and you've told me that and made me believe that everything happens for a reason, and I see the work that you're doing, and now I'm doing that for my roommate right now. And she named off a couple other people that she's ready to do that for, and it honestly moved me, because if I hadn't have been doing the work, going through the struggles and really pushing myself, she wouldn't have got better. And she wouldn't have been able to help the people she's helping now. Guys, it's a chain reaction. The sooner we can go through our struggles, the sooner we can begin to help all the people in our life. And then they can help the people in their life. We are all in this together. The sooner we face our struggles and overcome them, like straight on, not messing around anymore, the more fulfilled, the more joy you're going to feel. And there's truly nothing better in my mind than doing everything for your team. It is not easy to make it through the struggle. It is not easy to act on your struggles and make the decision to be brave, but you have to remember who you're doing it for. It's not just for you. All the people in your life are going to benefit from it. No matter how big or how small, if we can change the world one person at a time, that is all that matters. We have to start somewhere. So if you take anything away from this podcast today, it's look at those struggles, look at them in a way to learn. Look at them as opportunities to grow. It is not going to be easy, but when that you're faced with that struggle, remember the team. Remember the people you're fighting for, your kids, your family, your physical teammates, your friends, anybody in your life, the people you don't know. They are counting on you. And you need to ask for the help and overcome the things in your life and get stronger for them. Don't do it for yourself. It is so easy to give up on yourself. Do it for them. Be better. Compete to be better yourself for your team. Because the better you get, the better they're all getting as well. I'm here to be real, guys. I'm here to tell you that the struggle is real in my life every day. I'm working through the struggles in my life for you guys. I can't wait for the moment that I understand the struggles that I've gone through more, because it's been a lifetime of things that I've been putting off. But I'm putting in the work. I got therapy tomorrow. I'm going to go talk through some things and figure these things out a little bit more, because I can't wait to truly find myself a little bit more so I can share those little bits of information with you guys, because I'm really competing for you guys. I really mean it. Hopefully you see my tears every once in a while and understand that I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'm competing for you. Keep competing for me. Let's all learn what it's like to compete for one another, guys. Love you so much. Have a great day. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening.